The game I'm about to talk about today disappeared twice, and not because it was bad or not even because nobody bought it, but because of something completely outside the developer's control. As we all know, Marvel has made dozens of games over the past few years, but somehow nobody has managed to recreate and do exactly or even better than what the Deadpool game did over a decade ago. Now, I'm not sure if you know this game, so I'm gonna introduce you a little bit to it. This game is a third-person action game based on Deadpool, no shit. And at that time, Deadpool wasn't so much hype because we didn't have any movies and we didn't know much about him except for the comics that he was in and for some X-Men references of him. Upon its release, it had mostly, we can say, mixed reviews, which included people praising it for its amazing humor and numerous, when I say numerous, I really mean a lot, fourth wall breaks.
You'll need him alive. Exactly how alive are we talking?
But criticizing the gameplay, and the main reasons why they criticized the gameplay was actually it was that bad. It was kind of repetitive and it gets boring very quickly. Now a game like this where you just go around and slash your enemies cannot be anything but repetitive, but it was kind of generic. We had generic enemies, we had generic combos, and we really didn't have much stuff that we could add to the game, so it doesn't make it so repetitive. Also, the game was pretty laggy. I mean, it's not anything that you couldn't survive on, but if you want a big gaming experience, that's what you are not gonna get with the performances of this game, because the developers clearly didn't care much about optimization, just cared about releasing the Deadpool game. The enemies were very similar and we didn't have a lot of variety for them, so we were basically fighting the same enemies except the bosses in basically every level. One of the biggest reasons why audience didn't like the gameplay was combos and upgrades weren't anything special compared to games that released at that time, like Arkham Knight or some Spider-Man games, or generally games that released at that time that had skill upgrades and stuff like that. Because of this game you could just buy some weapons and upgrade them or stuff like that, so it was nothing special. I mean, in Arkham Knight you could do whatever the fuck you want. There are dozens, maybe even 100 options that you could choose from, and they were all unique and bringing something actually new to the game. One of the biggest problems this game had is that it used the same button for many combos and movements, which genuinely confused the player. Just imagine that the circle is dodge and it's also a swing or shit like that. So it confuses you because sometimes you may want to dodge, which requires just hitting the circle, but you accidentally hit, I don't know, R1 with the circle, and you just slash right into your enemies, which can be pretty frustrating and pretty confusing. One of the things that I personally didn't like, though many people did, they tried combining platforming sections and sections out of retro games, which were not that great, and players found them, including me, unfinished and unpolished. It was a good idea, and yeah, I have a lot to see more of that, but if you're gonna do this, you gotta make it as perfect as possible, or at least not stand out that much in quality from regular levels. Now, I know many of you may not agree with me, but it's something that I personally don't like, so I just wanted to share it, you know. But let me stop you for a second. As I already said, this game released in 2013, and that confuses me a lot because I couldn't find any answers about this. I didn't want to ask AI because they would just give me generic answers. This game released when there was actually not much, if any, hype about Deadpool, since we haven't had any movies or stuff like that that include him. So why did this game even release at that time? Wasn't it a better idea to wait for a movie to release? I mean, they couldn't have known that a movie was going to release, but still, wasn't it a better idea to wait some time, since we're getting all these games like Arkham Knight, Amazing Spider-Man, and of course a game about a character called Deadpool, which wasn't even that hype, surely isn't going to outshine or outrun games like Arkham Knight, which are about Batman, or Amazing Spider-Man, which are of course about Spider-Man. So that's the thing that I don't understand, and if you maybe understand it, I would love to see your explanation in the comments below. So the most views for this game were around 6 or I don't know, strong 7s, and that's valid, but I think they're maybe underrating it or sometimes overrating, because I've seen 10 out of 10 reviews and this surely isn't a 10 out of 10 game. For me, it's kind of like a 7.5 to 8.5 game, mostly because of the humor and fourth wall breaks, which you're going to get to right now. The biggest reason why this game was one of its kind and was very special was the way this game was breaking the fourth wall constantly, but it was fun every time. But just in case if you don't know what the fourth wall is, I'm going to explain it to you pretty quickly. So in a game or in a movie, the actors of course need to behave as if they're in their kind of a own world, and if what they're experiencing is real. And the viewers are just like the invisible people who don't even exist, and they don't know that they're being recorded and all that. You know that. I really don't need to explain that. So this kind of an imaginary wall, we can call it, that is separating the actor from the audience, and that is actually called the fourth wall. Now breaking the wall is actually when the character suddenly stops the story or anything that they were doing to look at the camera or talk directly to the audience, or I don't know, make a joke about developers or the movie or the game itself, doesn't matter. What they are doing is basically breaking the imaginary, we call it, fourth wall. One of the most memorable and the biggest ways that this Deadpool game was breaking the fourth wall, talking directly to the player, talking directly to developers. You can see it right now.
Just push the button. Oh, did you want to go make a sandwich while the master villain stands behind me ready to strike? Oh, I'll go right ahead. We'll wait.
It's pretty fun, and it's pretty personality driven, which drives me to the next point, that this game is hella personality driven. Like, this game is full of personality, full of jokes, and if you need a break from something too serious, this is one of the best games that you can turn on right now that aren't expensive. I mean, they basically aren't on sale right now, but we'll get to that later. So this game basically isn't expensive, and we all know that there are other ways which I'm not supposed to mention here, but you know what ways I'm talking about. So if you want to play this game, you know how you can download it and of course buy it, because don't pirate. Pirating is bad. So the actual reason why this game fell off wasn't because it was bad or the people forgot about it. It's because it lost its license and it needed to be removed from the store in 2014. So basically, Kaimon Studios that made this game, which is under a bigger company that you surely know, Activision, when they make Call of Duties and games like that, basically lost their rights because their agreement with Marvel expired in 2014. So they couldn't keep selling any games about Marvel, which meant a lot of games, not only including Deadpool, with any Marvel characters. So basically releasing Deadpool game in 2013 was a very stupid move. So let me stop you once again, and this is the last time. Why did they release the game in 2013? They should have known, and they surely did know, that their deal was going to expire in 2014. And if they weren't sure they're gonna prolong it, then why even bother to release a game a year before? I mean, yeah, it made them some money, but still, it's nowhere near what it could have made them. That was a very stupid move from Activision, but they genuinely knew that the deal was expiring. Before we leave, I need to ask you one question. Did you play this game, and did you enjoy it? And what do you think? Was this move from Activision stupid or not? Because I really think it was.